Place.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, thank you.
Morning, guys. Thanks for joining us. Anton, how are you? You good to go?
Boss says yes. Yeah.
Super. If the boss says yes, we're good to go. We'll begin with you, Anton. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Sarina. Hi, Millie. Nice to see you both.
Morning.
Sarina, we're approaching the third game in 6 days. So how is the squad, and can we expect more changes for tomorrow's game?
The squad is good, so everyone will be on the pitch this morning. Well, except of course for Emily because she went back to club. So yeah, that's really nice. So everyone's available, and you can expect some changes tomorrow. Yes, compared to Sunday.
Does that mean you'll sort of, you rotated heavily for the game on Sunday? Does that mean you'll sort of try and find one of your strongest 11s going into this game, considering it's a chance to win the tournament?
Yeah, well, we of course we want to win the tournament. We want to also manage the load a little bit, and we don't really know what the strongest 11 at this moment. We don't have to know yet, but it shows that our team is really good, and it's hard to make decisions.
But it is hard to make decisions. Look, I know you've been asked this a lot, but the form of the strikers, is that going to be really difficult, deciding who's going to be England's number 9 going over the next few months and into the World Cup?
Well, first of all, it's very exciting because we have so many good number 9s and more good strikers. And it's going to be a hard one too, but that's what we want.
Millie, speaking to the players this week, they all seem to be relishing the competition. Does it feel like, you're getting towards a big tournament? Does it feel like everybody's sort of that element of competition's in the squad?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've always had that, if I'm being honest. I think we're a very competitive group. And I think we all know that in order to be successful, we have to challenge one another. And that's every single day in training. And that's what makes us be able to get our performances and keep growing as a squad.
No one knows Rachel Daly like you do. Just how impressive you've been with her since she sort of had an extended run at centre forward and now getting to prove that for England.
Yeah, I think we all know what Rach is capable of, but she's also very versatile, and I think it's key to have that in the squad. And like I said, she's a player that's very willing, and she'll literally play anywhere. I think she said that a million times to you all. But yeah, it's I like to see every player succeed and do well, and I think that's the beauty of having the squad that we do, is we want everyone to perform and be at their best, and ultimately we need everyone to be at their best to go on and do great things.
Rachel's the joint top scorer in the tournament. Will you be happy to pass on your golden boot to her?
I know, she said she was going to challenge me for it at the start of the tournament, so... but yeah,
I just said that she's very versatile too.
Another number 9.
I did actually say coming into the tournament that I'd like it to be more goals than the last one. So it's nice to see that there's plenty of goals within the tournament. It makes it exciting.
I'm going to ask you a bigger picture question, if I may, Sarina and Millie. Look, Sarina, start with you. There's been a lot made about the player pathway recently. But again, we're looking at the under-23 games yesterday. It was an all-white team. How long do you think it'll take before we see true representation in the England squad in senior level and the youth levels?
Yeah. Well, first of all, good win of the under-23s. So that's very nice. As we've seen also, that's a step also to the senior team. So really happy with their performance. And yes, you're not going to change it overnight. And yes, over the last weeks, the FA and in K Cossington, we launched an improved pathway, which really is about, of course, performance, but also inclusivity, diversity, and accessibility, and hopefully, in the future, and I don't know how long that will take, that we get, of course, very, very good players, because it doesn't start with, but it represents more the diversity of our community.
Yeah, Millie, you've spoken quite openly about this subject before. Emma Hayes said, look, English football is still quite middle class. Is that one of the big problems facing English football?
I think for us, it's something, like Sarina spoke about, all the factors really that need to be kind of addressed, and I think we have addressed it and changes are in place, but again, it's not something that's going to happen overnight, and I don't really think you can put a time frame on it, but I think it's nice knowing that changes have been made and the things are in place to allow it to be more diverse in the future.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anton. We'll take questions from the floor. We'll go to Tom.
There you go, mate.
Thank you. Good morning, both. Sarina, just to follow up on one of Anton's questions about the first, knowing your first team, how pleased have you been with the kind of the evolution of the team since the Euros? Because Ellen retired, Jill retired, and are you pleased with the way that people have been stepping up to maybe fill those spots?
Yeah, so far I'm very happy. And in sports, it's actually also pretty normal that there's dynamics in the team and there will be changes. And, some players will retire, some youngsters will compete or coming in and challenge players that are already in the squad. And that's very good competition. So far, I've been happy with it. I think the depth in the squads is growing. So what you see now, it's really hard to make decisions. And players, I think we have such a big group that's more than 23 that are going to the World Cup that are able to play at that stage. So that makes it hard for us to make decisions. But also with starting lineup, we have more than 11 players that really could start the team. So it's not that someone's not good enough to start, it's just the tactical choices we were going to make. We don't have to make that now. We just really want to know what our opportunities are, what our options are, if we have to change a game or when we want to start, which opponent we have. So it's actually really exciting.
In terms of managing load, which you mentioned as well, have you had, with 3 matches in 6 days is quite a condensed schedule, have you had conversations with some of the WSL managers about perhaps just a maximum number of minutes for some of the players here who might play over across the 3 matches? Is that sort of...
No, I don't make it that specific. I think that's my responsibility when the players are here. Of course, we want to take care of players as good as possible, so we want to compete. But we also want to manage load. We want to make the risk of injuries as low as possible. And that's why we manage load. So I hope the coaches or the managers of the clubs, they trust me that we take care of players. But sometimes things happen in the tournament and you want to make plans and then you have to change this about players who are available or are not available.
Thank you. And Millie, please forgive me because I'm going to ask a really light-hearted question that might get me never invited back. But this morning there was a news story that it's been revealed an actor's going to play Gareth Southgate in a play about penalties, actually. But got us thinking, who would you think should play Sarina? Is there an actress that springs to mind?
God, put me on the spot there.
Put a hand someone.
God, off the top of my head.
Sarina, who would you like to play?
I think that Joseph is doing Garrett, isn't he?
Yes.
Well, that's a good match, I think. So you come with a solution or an option. What would you think?
I really don't know. Okay, I'll stop there because I've really broken the barrel. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom. Yes, we'll go to Catherine.
Hi, Sarina.
Hi.
I just wondered what you're expecting from Belgium. Obviously, they're a team you played in preparation for the Euros. They've not qualified for the World Cup, but they have played quite well in their first 2 games in this tournament.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they have played well. They played really well in the Euros too. They just missed out for the World Cup. They play a recognizable style of play. It's organized. They have some very good players. They also have some height in their team that they use sometimes too. They had some trouble with some injury players, so that's very disappointing for them, especially first of all for those players. We'll expect that we'll be in possession a lot, but they can challenge us at some moments if we give them the opportunity.
You spoke in November about obviously England kind of challenging themselves against teams that will set up to frustrate them. Obviously the November game was a draw with Norway, and you had the Czech Republic game before then. Just wondered kind of how far the team has kind of come since then in terms of playing against those teams that with that low block, because obviously the first 2 games come up against those oppositions to kind of comfortable or 2 victories.
Yeah, I think Italy didn't play too deep. I think especially South Korea played very deep, and I think we found pretty good ways to break their lines and to create chances. Well, that was what we showed at the end. Tomorrow I think Belgium, is aware of us, that we played them before the Euros, and with some of the players injured, they probably will play really compact and make spaces really small. And yeah, we talk about that with our team, with the players, and we'll find ways to break those lines and to get behind the defense, create chances and score, hopefully.
And Millie, obviously Sarina was talking about load there, and you're somebody that's played a lot of football, obviously, this season. I think you've only missed a couple of games for Chelsea. Just kind of wondered if it's anything you do differently now to kind of, recover sort of well to make sure you obviously can, play the amount of matches, because obviously your club team have so many games because you're competing on so many fronts.
No, for me, it's just consistency in everything that I do, whether it's the start of the season, the middle or the end. I think recovery is a key component, whether, like I said, it's the start or the finish. So yeah, obviously for me, I always want to be available, and I make sure I tick all the boxes to train hard every day and be available for selection.
Thanks, Catherine. We'll go to Phil at the back. Yep.
Hi, Sarina. We've talked a lot about the sort of size of the squad and the strength in that sense, the amount of options that there are. I was just wondering how encouraged we should be about the youth element of this squad. Obviously there's experienced heads in the team as well, but at the weekend we had Katie Robinson and Lauren James both provide assists, another good sign that just for the future and how far this can go. Yeah,
well, it all starts with quality and what we think. We will pick the best players we think at the moment for the World Cup. That's not now, that will be in a couple of months, but now we see where they're at this moment. And then, then it's about quality. And of course, in your team, you want a little balance between experienced players and players that come in with less experience. Experience, not only age, is also having played big games, international games, playing in a stadium with 30,000 people. So I think that was a very good experience last Sunday. So those are mainly the things that we think of and we're looking at. And what I said is really nice that have some players the first experience with the crowd, the fans that are really excited when we come into the stadium and in the stadium. So very good. And they just played Sunday. I thought we were free, just playing the game. So don't feel that pressure of having so many people around in the stadium.
Cheers, thanks.
Thanks, Phil. Any other questions? Yes, we'll go to Jack.
Hi, Sarina, Millie. I just wondered, in terms of, you talked a lot about experimentation, Sarina, throughout the last week. Are we now at the stage where this is essentially a final tomorrow? Does it balance more towards just winning, being competitive? Is the time for experimenting over?
Well, this whole tournament was, we said, it's all what we do right now is to get ready and be ready at the 22nd of July when our World Cup starts. But we also want to win, of course, the tournament. But every game we play, we want to win. But we also, we want experience. We want to see many players. But whoever's on the pitch goes on the pitch to win the game.
And just quickly, Millie, I know you spoke about the competitiveness in training. When the likes of Katie Robinson, Jess Park, some of the newer players to the squad come, are they sort of surprised by how intense England training can be, or do you think that people get used to it pretty quickly?
Yeah, I think it's a new experience. I think any player that comes in maybe for the first time or, just newly coming into the squad, it is a different level. However, the WSL is super competitive now and the level is so high. So I'd like to think the transition is a little bit easier. But obviously youngsters coming in, there's a lot to learn. But again, like Sarina said, it was so nice to see the youngsters play with freedom. And for me, that's a sign that we're doing all the right things and allowing them to go on and, just play their game and keep developing. And ultimately, we have to keep moving forward as a squad and, growing.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you in Bristol tomorrow. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.